Screen recording of my Instagram story. I was recently asked about my least favorite pole moves, and I answered anything that relies on pressing your foot onto the pole since my feet are always so sweaty. Shots of me slipping on the pole. We all know sweat can ruin a good pole training session, but you can always try to fix that by wiping the pole or putting grip solution on your hands. But what if the problem is on the bottom of your feet? Screen recording of Tuckit's colorful website. I googled grippy pole socks, and this brand Tuckit's was the first to pop up. They aren't pole specific. The website says you can wear them for yoga, dance, aerial arts, and more, but there didn't seem to be a product out there literally called grippy pole sock, you know? I was drawn to the Allegro style, which has an open top and a grippy bottom. I wear a size 7.5 shoe, so I chose the small medium size in bright blue with yellow grippies. They gave me a discount code for signing up for their emails, so with shipping and taxes, this single pair of socks came out to $21.53. Let me try a few foot-centric moves while we wait for my order to arrive. First, the standing side star, in which you spread all 4 limbs out in a star shape using the inside hand and inside foot to push you up off the ground. I will try each move twice on the right, then twice on the left. The pole is on static. I tried to brace my inside foot against the pole, but it slips, jolting me back down. I quickly reached the point where I couldn't even get my sweaty foot to rest against the pole, let alone to hold any of my weight. Next! Here's the spider, a sideways move in which both feet rest flat against the pole with your torso in between, forcing you into a spidery crouch while you hold on with both hands. This is one of those moves where you brace with a foot and then bring your other foot up and over your torso. I tried it once, but sort of saw my life potentially flashing before my eyes, so I went ahead and grabbed the mat. With the mat beneath me, I press my outside foot to the pole and lower my outside knee to align with it, attempting to brace myself. My foot slips and I kick awkwardly. You are supposed to be able to press that knee down using the foot as leverage so you can get the other leg up and over, but there was no way I could get any leverage with my wet little feet. Oh boy, time for the Cupid. In this move, you hang on solely with the knee pit of the bent inside leg and the outside foot pressed flat against the pole. The pole tricks book shows Kelly, the instructor, with both arms beautifully extended, hands nowhere near clinging to the pole for dear life. Sure. I perform side climbs and try to press my outside foot against the pole. I get absolutely no purchase, which causes me to slip down to the floor, uncomfortably opening up my hips, or to give up on the move entirely. The closest I got was bringing my outside hand off for a second. Have I mentioned that this is the specific move I use to demonstrate my least favorite type of moves? Finally, we have the Buddha, a tricky illusion position in which you hold the pole in your inside elbow pit and knee pit with the outside leg pushing against the pole and your inside leg crossed over top of it. It's basically supposed to look like you're floating in a meditative position. The book says to begin by bringing your inside leg up and pressing it down into the side, which is not something my flexibility naturally allows. I have to grab my leg with my hands and force it sideways. You're also supposed to be able to keep your hands in what I call a seatbelt position, with your inside arm high and your outside arm across your chest, but I defaulted to using a bracket grip with my outside arm to compensate for the slippery foot that was doing me no favors. I did switch the pole to spin for this. I am using iTac 2 and dry hands and wiping the pole with alcohol constantly, but I really just need a direct solution for my sweaty feet. I almost get the Buddha leg position, but tilt my head to the side in confusion. Mail call! Time to unbox the socks. In this thin package, we have 1 pair of socks, 1 purchase order receipt, and 1 cute card with some information about the company and 2 suggested foot stretches. The card and the tag both tell me that this company is a small woman-owned business with an eco-conscious message, which I love, even if I can't say it. I did need to grab scissors to free the socks from the tiny, annoying plastic ties between them. The socks have a teensy L or R on them, so you know which goes on which foot, a nice touch, and the bottom is covered in orderly rows of grippies and a textured Tuckit's logo. Text appears, smiling while testing a pole product? Rare! They were easy to put on and fit my foot almost perfectly, which makes sense because my size is almost directly in the middle of the size range the small medium is supposed to accommodate. So, how do they feel to walk around in?
Playing with a reef blower? That's the most childish thing I've ever heard!
Okay, but seriously, they're easy to walk in. They're not sticky, just grippy, so as long as you pick up your feet, you don't feel glued to the ground. And with the open toe design, I can still do whatever little twirlies I need around the pole, just up on my toes. Time to try the moves! Once again, the pole is on static, and I'm using iTac 2 and dry hands. My first attempt to press my socked foot against the pole still left me slipping, as did the second. I consulted the book again. Kelly has her inside foot pointed up, so I tried again, repositioning my tootsies to face the sky, and held it for half of a second! My mouth drops open in surprise and delight. The other side was even better. Aside from kicking the wall, which threw me off, I tried again at a disgusting angle without a wall to kick, and it worked! I jump up and down in celebration. Next, I got the mat out for the spider with the socks. I place my foot against the pole and lean to the side. With this leverage point, I am able to lift my outside leg up and off the ground, which surprises me so much I stumble back down. I am unused to being able to even practice moves like this, and my body was not prepared for the pain of this awkward position. I felt it in my shoulder and my hip joints. I got pretty close, but couldn't quite get my leg high up enough to hook onto the pole, but I definitely got further than ever before thanks to the socks. Time for the Cupid again. The first two attempts were basically as slippery as the non-sock ones, and in this case I could feel the pole sliding against the grippies. Here's where the sock being slightly tighter or sticky instead of grippy might actually have helped. Checking the book, Kelly's bottom foot is flush against the pole, toes down, so I got back up there to give it a few more tries. From a side climb, I lean down and fiddle around with my bottom foot. It never finds true purchase against the pole. Let's get that pole on spin and try the Buddha again since I tried it on spin the first time. Shock, awe, and amazement. I pretty much got it! My mouth hangs open as I hold the pose, cross-legged and with hands clasped in front of me as if in prayer. I was able to get it again thanks to the additional support from the sock-covered bottom foot, but geez, it really hurt the back of my inside thigh and my hips seemed tilted instead of sitting flat like Kelly does it. Sure enough, she's holding the pole in her knee pit, whereas I'm relying on the thigh to keep me up. I can tell I'm sort of sinking into it instead of lifting up like the book instructs, so I wiped down the pole for one final attempt on the other side, which went pretty well. You all know I love spin pole and despise static, so I tried the spider and the Cupid on spin pole to see if I could get it right. I spin slightly while valiantly attempting to lift my outer leg in the spider. As for the Cupid, I've heard you can get into it from climbing out of an inversion, so I gave that a try since a huge bruise is forming on my ankle from all of the side climbs. Didn't work. Then I tried a backward spin to try to use the power of physics to keep me glued to the pole. Didn't work. I even tried focusing more on tilting my hips out instead of collapsing down, but that foot just couldn't get enough grip. Sorry, sockies. These side-by-side clips show me freestyling on spin pole in my grippy socks. At no point did they get in my way or hinder me, even when doing climbs, a stargazer and hood ornament, floor work, or anything else. The open tops leave enough skin exposed so that I can still make plenty of contact with the pole. Finally, I just sat and tried the suggested foot stretches, which involved flexing and then pointing my feet and scrunching and then extending my toes. It was fine. Despite the sweatiness of my feet, the socks were easy to take off and didn't show any signs of wear. A Tuckets rep told me I can hand or machine wash them, so I look forward to using them again, especially to get the spider. What should I try next? Let me know in the comments below. Bye! The subscribe button appears on the right, a suggested video and playlist appear on the left.